Welcome to Love in the Time of Hydra, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 10th anniversary podcast. We are taking it back to March 22nd, 2016. On this day 10 years ago, the top song was still Work by Rihanna featuring Drake, and the #1 movie at the domestic box office was still Zootopia. We're just keep on keeping on with that business. The election primaries continued in more states, while a jury awarded Hulk Hogan another $25 million in a sex tape lawsuit totaling $140 million he got over that. So that's crazy. Reese Witherspoon turned 40, William Shatner turned 85, and Keegan-Michael Key turned 45. Indian Wells CEO and tennis tournament director Raymond Moore resigned after backlash for saying women's players rode on the coattails of men and were very, very lucky to earn prize money. Remember Consequences? Remember when you say something sexist and then be like, I gotta quit my job now?
Well, that's just a good reminder that we need to keep taking Timothy Chalamet to task for one dumbass remark. No. Blow it up.
No, we were just talking about how that's ridiculous. But consequences are important. But the most important thing that happened on March 22nd, 2016 was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, Parting Shot, aired on ABC. Hello, I'm Jamie Girac, and I'm here with my co-host, boyfriend, and level 3 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, Tony Paletto. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jamie. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching and listening along. I'm sad.
I know. Oh boy, we've got a great guest though today. A great friend of ours, a returning guest, perfect for today, I think. You know him from all of his work that he does on Agents of Fandom. TJ Zwarych is here!
And he's in.
He's here!
Oh, he's wiping his eyes. Okay,
sorry, I still am wiping off all the tears from this episode. Right. And man, I'm so happy to be back. I'm so excited to hang out with you both, and what an episode to talk about.
I know. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to discuss. TJ, it's been a while since you were on the main pod, and we brought you in at a sad time. Did you rewatch it today?
Yeah, I started last night, and then my 2-year-old woke up, and I was like, okay, not anymore. Gotta go deal with this. And so I watched just the first 10 minutes last night, and then I watched it all this morning. And my wife and child were in another room, and I exited after the episode and went and talked to them, and Ava, my partner, has watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with me, and I just said, I went out to her and I was like, it's just such a hard watch every time. Each time it gets me. I know it's coming, and it still gets me as tears are just running down my face.
I too was sobbing, and I said,
I was misty.
Yeah. And I said to Tony, I was like, this is probably for me, top 3 hardest I cry on this show is whenever I watch this episode. The Spy's Goodbye is so beautiful. And before we get into it, because Tony doesn't really know what happened.
I don't.
So we got to talk about that. But first, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. I know a lot of people were like, are Adrian or Nick coming on? And I did reach out to Adrian's reps. I didn't get a response. But after speaking to some people from the show, it became clear that this is too sensitive of an episode. People from the show don't want to talk about this episode, and it's understandable. It could have been a great one because it is. It's a beautiful episode of television, but instead it is just a reminder that this industry fucking sucks.
All right, let's go. Can you please tell me what the fuck you're talking about?
It's time to inform Tony about everything because he has no fucking idea. So Bobby and Hunter were getting their own spinoff. Yes, it was called Marvel's Most Wanted. It was created by Jeffrey Bell and Paul Zabzewski, who wrote Parting Shot.
Okay.
And they filmed the pilot. This episode was meant as their send-off of the show, kind of a backdoor pilot for the spinoff. They shot the pilot, and then on May 12th, during the same announcement that they said that Agent Carter would not be coming back for season 3, they announced that ABC would not be picking up Marvel's Most Wanted.
So they shot and completed a pilot.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. It was supposed to basically we don't know much because we haven't seen it. They never released it, but it was basically a new take focusing on the duo continuing their adventures. So it was basically them while they're disavowed and they're really undercover kind of a business.
Man, I'm all right. Well, I got to say this. It colors my experience for sure, but I was very moved by that ending, by The Spy's Goodbye, and was hopeful that maybe we'd get him back later, and now that's dashed. But the idea that I thought it was a really creative way to remove characters from a show without killing them.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
I was like, this is unique. This is a unique feeling. This is a different kind of goodbye. This is kind of like everybody doing the bravest and best they can, and this is the result. And it's tragic, but it could be worse. I thought it was so interesting, and I'm so disappointed that a thing that I didn't know about until a minute ago didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you more about what we know from the pilot, but I just want to take it to TJ and be like, do you remember when this all went down?
I do. 2016 was a wild time for me. You know, I was in the midst of I was a little slutty in 2016. You know, I just had my heart broken. I hadn't found the love of my life yet, and I was figuring some stuff out. But still, like, I kind of had like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every week. Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Flash, and then eventually Supergirl got popped in there as well. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was kind of always the main one that I followed at all costs, because there's never been a better like TV feeling for me in all of history of watching TV than you go see Captain America Winter Soldier and you come back and Hydra is there in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And that was just like mind-blowing to me, the way that they connected these things. And so the idea of a spinoff was like, all right, now I got another new favorite show that I get to add to the repertoire. And I wasn't like, I really, really liked the characters of Bobby and Hunter, but I wasn't particularly like, I didn't feel like it was something I needed, but it was definitely something I knew I'd watch. And so when the cancellation happened, it honestly more so was, I was mostly mad that the characters got sacrificed in it than
you got robbed.
The show wasn't there, right? Like, if it just means like, hey, great, it's not happening, but Bobby and Hunter are back now, that would have made me feel a heck of a lot better. But it was pretty sad.
Yeah, and it like, as Salty Shield Stan pointed out in the comments, like, it is sadder now than it was the day it aired. Because the day it aired, it was like, you know, it made me cry still, because it's so beautifully written. But and like the Henry Simmons specifically, Mac in that scene is like, the performance is so incredible. But now it's just harder to watch, because it's just we know that they're it's basically like watching people get fired in real time. And so
it's one of those like kind of meta scenes too, the way that they do it, where it reminds me of like, spoilers for the finale of Stranger Things, but it kind of reminds me of when they're placing their D&D packets binders up away for the last time. To me, I kind of took that as like, these actors hanging up that script for the last time, like, this is the last time they're ever going to need a Stranger Things script. And that's almost how I took this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where all of it's the characters, yes, but it's also the actors going like, it's been great to be with you, and good luck with what's next, kind of thing. And it just hits on another level.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't get started from the show, because like, everyone had to say goodbye to their friends.
Yeah,
like there's no one on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that wasn't affected by this. And I'm gonna tell you some things about the show just to bum you out more.
Great
things that we know. Jeffrey Bell at one point compared it to Angel, which you know, that makes me sad.
That hurts you more than it hurts me, but it does hurt me. It does hurt me.
Adrian at one point said that the pilot was a little darker and grittier than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which makes sense, especially if you're going in the Angel route in terms of a spinoff. And she also had said that the pilot was less based in Marvel mythology and more focused on the two characters, and she compared their dynamic in the show to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which makes sense. That's kind of
they kind of got that already.
Nick Blood had said at one point, it's exploring how you make a relationship work with the backdrop of this crazy stuff that goes on. So really, it's just what they've set up in the last 2 seasons of getting them and furthermore, which is you know, the cast. Oded Fair was supposed to be in it. I know. Fernanda Andrade, McKenna Grace, when she was only 9, was going to be up in there. Laura Allen and Damon Dayoub. But here's the real kick in the teeth. This is where it really hurts. Delroy Lindo was supposed to be in the show. He was cast as Dominic Fortune, who is a fortune-seeking adventurer in the Marvel comics.
Come the fuck on.
I know.
Okay, they can pick that back up.
Yeah, how do we get that?
Get that Delroy cred back into your system, Marvel.
I'm just glad that was public knowledge, because there was at one point, for some reason, I thought that like they didn't announce who he was playing, but it's on the wiki. So
that's like fucking 2 times Delroy's been like shafted by Marvel.
Yeah, he keeps getting shafted by Marvel.
Their loss.
I know it's pretty upsetting. And then okay, ultimately, Billy Gerhardt directed the pilot. He's done 11 episodes of Agents of Shield, many of which we've already seen. And then Paul and Jeff Bell obviously were able to come back to Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
They were able to come back and continue their jobs, but Adrian and Nick were not afforded that same luxury, which is understandable
because the story wouldn't
the story
sustain
wouldn't
it.
make sense. They had such like that's what sucks. It was just too good of a goodbye. It
So
was
good.
too good to go back on.
All right.
And like, gosh, that's it.
All right. Thanks.
I know. Let's all soak it in.
I'm soaked.
I think that it's actually maybe a perfect time for us to take our shots.
Yeah.
We all have shots. I know a lot of people in the audience, in the live audience, have their shots. I know Maria has one backstage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Queued up.
I would tell you that I hate taking shots.
Yeah, that's okay.
Deeply.
But here,
I had a chaser.
the way we're gonna take the shot is we're gonna do it the spy way. We're not gonna cheers it. We're just gonna lift our glasses ceremoniously to the audience. I'm sorry if you were only listening, but we're lifting to you, and then we're gonna take it. All right.
And lift.
Jamie's getting her chaser down. And I'm revived.
All
We could
right.
talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Yes, thank you.
I was tempted to do it in the psychotic way that Mac did and just like slowly sip it all the way down, staring
I saw
at them.
that too. Yeah.
I feel
I
like
can't do that
he
with
was trying to
tequila.
prolong the moment.
Yeah, that's also how you do like a traditional skull, like in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like you keep eye contact and you tilt your head back and you do it slow and then you bring it back down, holding eye contact. Like that's a very ceremonious thing that Mac was doing.
Yeah, so good. I will say, like, I don't want to talk about who I spoke with from the show because it was like a private conversation. But the one thing that was discussed was like that the person called out was just how good he is, and I'll say it again. Like, Henry Simmons is, I think, underrated in terms of the performances that he's giving. It's pretty great.
He's awesome.
I haven't eaten anything today, so let's see how taking a shot.
Yeah.
Tony, do you want to tell the chat the rules real quick?
Yeah, no spoilers, please. If you're going to say something spoilery, just put spoiler alert ahead of your comment. That helps protect people like me who are watching the show for the first time. Hopefully, we have people in the chat joining us live who are going through this for the first time. You want to protect them, protect me. So tag your spoilers, or producer Maria will stab you with a knife that she forged herself.
Yeah. Okay, back on track, normal episode business. TJ, how do you feel about this episode, just like as an episode of TV? Like, obviously the ending is so important, but just like as a whole, how are you feeling revisiting this?
As a whole, it's really great because I don't think I remember knowing about all the spin-off stuff, but I don't think I knew when watching the episode that it was going to be that type of an episode. And so it was kind of two different experiences watching it for the first time versus, I guess this was probably my fifth time watching the episode now based on how often I rewatch the show. And so I do think it's a really, really great contained episode. It had a lot more of the team in it than I remembered. Like, I honestly, in my brain, it was basically just the two of them for the course of the entire episode until the end. And other than just like a little bit of, calling back to base, asking for some instruction kind of thing. And so it was a different episode than I remembered, but it's still like, knowing what happened beat by beat, it just hits really, really hard. It kind of almost is like, obviously they have their own pilot, but it does feel like a backdoor pilot episode where it's like its purpose is saying goodbye to characters and setting them up for another story. But even just on its own, it kind of stands apart from the rest of the season. Like yes, it's part of the plot, but it's not like quite directly there the way a lot of the other ones are, and it feels like a frozen in time episode outside of the story that's being told, but just sort of its own little offshoot, special presentation kind of thing.
I'd love to comment on that because I was watching it, and I've talked about this before on the show that I've become conditioned as the plot unfurls in an episode to anticipate when's that other shoe gonna drop, right? Like when's that other little kind of twist or surprise gonna come my way? And I'm watching Bobby and Hunter in these interrogations, and I'm like, and when it starts getting serious, when it starts getting urgent, when it starts getting like very, very, very severe, we might be death by firing squad. I the whole time I was like, this is performance, right? This isn't really gonna happen. we're not really going to have, this is like they're putting on a show for their interrogator. They're acting a certain way for the people behind the glass because they have this trick thing that's going to come in through there and rescue them. And as the episode went, I was like, this is real. This is really, really ending. However this falls out, this is a fallout. And that was effective.
Yeah. It's interesting, but for me, like, see, I've talked about it many times, and now I can be a little more open about it because we don't have somebody from the show. But like, season 3 is my least favorite season for a lot of reasons. And for me, parting, like, for the second half where we're at now, parting shot is its peak. Next week is like a big dip, and then the one after is a big up again, and then it just slowly starts to decline for the rest of the season.
Well, I'll look forward to all that.
For me personally, and so next week, I'm not sure who our guest is yet, but in 2 weeks. For Space Time, we have a cool guest, and I'm really excited about that because that's one of my favorite episodes. But yeah, for me, it's like it's an interesting episode to rewatch because I feel like on first watch, it is a little odd and different. Like, it does feel like it's just going to get resolved by the end. And then every time I watch it, I'm like, did it have to be this way? Like thinking about like taking away that they were getting a spinoff. Like, couldn't they have done something? But I think they do a good job of making it feel like they don't have another option.
Yeah, the thing that they could have done was for Coulson to arrange it so that they're not fucking killed. That's the best they could do. Disavowalment was the best option for them, and I do agree. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job in the plot of the episode to make that the only thing.
But let me tell you, I've seen Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation 10,000 times, and I know that if you're disavowed, doesn't matter. You can keep doing your business.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna get a spinoff.
Oh, so sad. All right, let's get into the episode, I guess.
Speaking of spinoffs, quick, like I would love a Disney Plus show that, like, obviously they'd name it something better than this, but like instead of Marvel's Runaways, Marvel's Throwaways, where it's just like characters we haven't seen in a really long time. You know, hey,
fucking they need it.
Fun.
This post-credit scene didn't get tied up. Well, here's what Harry Styles and the Eternals are up to. Here's Hunter and Bobby. Yeah. Here's her, whatever it is.
And it can be animated.
Like,
you know?
Animated.
Yeah, like just like bring in the characters that, you know, there was supposed to be a story with them, but it didn't because of a strike, a pandemic. This person got arrested, whatever it is, and just give us like what if stories based on that.
I like that a lot. That's a good idea.
I love calling it Throwaways, though.
Yeah.
You said that wasn't a good title, but like it just you go into a show called Throwaways with no expectations, and then it's actually rad. That's great. That's a good time.
Brad Winderbaum, if you're listening.
Yeah, Brad, we know you are.
Yeah, come on. Let's be honest. So we start at this Interpol black site in Moscow. Bobby's being interrogated. 3 Russian agents were killed. She orders her burger and fries. Let me tell you, I finished this episode like really wanting a burger. And now that I've had a shot of alcohol and no food, I really want a burger.
Let's get that burger with lettuce, tomato. Oh boy, I want it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Did you do you remember a couple hours ago how this episode started, just like your first thought?
Yeah, I was just really loving the contrast of Bobby and Hunter's different tactics when being interrogated. I love just rambling about mushroom soup recipes. That was really fun. And
I have questions about that for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
And I like Bobby's just as a completely different approach, which is just consistently lying, stonewalling. But they're very different vibes. She's talking as little as possible. He's talking as much as possible. And I think I just liked, they're both so funny in that sequence.
The 2 types of Marvel PR trading.
That's very correct.
TJ, the chat is having a debate, and I wonder if I don't know what they have over in Canada. They're saying In-N-Out versus Shake Shack. Have you had these things?
I have had both. I'm a Shake Shack guy. I got both of them for the first time. The last time I went to LA was the first time I had tried either of them, and I want to go back to In-N-Out and give it more tries because like the people who have had it multiple times that I was there with were like, don't let this be your judgment. This was a bad experience. The burger wasn't great. The fries were something was wrong with them. And it took us forever to get it. And so they actively told me like, don't let this be your deciding factor. Like you got to go back and try it again. And so I'm not judging it, but the Shake Shack one I had was just like absolutely fucking incredible.
I feel like you have an answer.
Yeah, I'm an In-N-Out guy, but I also like, having lived in LA for many, many years, I think people are way too reverent about In-N-Out. It's good. It's very good. But people are like culty about it, and I don't share that same feeling, but like between the two, it would be an In-N-Out burger.
I I've like not had either enough times, but I like my gut says In-N-Out. I do have a funny In-N-Out story that I can tell because we're loosey goosey today on the
Go
podcast.
for it, baby. Let's go.
It's the first time I remember getting In-N-Out. I was visiting LA. It's before I lived here. I was visiting my good friend Andy, and we went to a weed shop. And at the time I lived in Chicago, weed was illegal, so it was like exciting to get to go buy some edibles. And this is the day I learned that I don't do edibles. I got chocolate covered coffee beans that had weed in them, and I ate way too many of them. Like I did not know how many was too many, and I ate a fuck ton of these.
That's how you learn.
We went and got In-N-Out, and we just snuck it into a dollar theater screening of Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
That sounds great.
Yes, except we were late and stuck there was no assigned seating. So I like to sit on the aisle because I like to be able to get up.
Especially when you're way too
When
high.
I'm really stoned. I don't like to be stoned in public. So we're trapped. I have my In-N-Out, but we're so trapped. Like with it's so many families because it's a dollar theater. So it's like people who are like saving like their buck so they can bring the whole family. And I was too afraid to open the burger because it was be loud and smell. And I was freaking out. And like, thankfully it was the third time I'd seen the movie, but the whole movie I was like, I want to get out of here so bad. And like, I sat there through Ragnarok, but it was like being tortured. And finally I snuck out and stood like for the last 45 minutes, I stood in the back of the theater and ate my cold In-N-Out burger. So it was so sad.
What was your experience watching the moment that Thor gets to? Why can't I remember what the trash planet's called? Like the planet where the Grandmaster is when he gets there for the first time and he's strapped to the chair. There are voices coming and the lights are shifting.
Oh yeah, the Willy Wonka moment.
Yeah, I too took an edible before seeing Thor Ragnarok for the first time, and it hit harder than expected. And I was sitting there in that scene being like, this is too much. I need to get out of here. Like, why am I strapped to the chair? Like, it was just like terrifying.
Defrost Robot in the comments just said the exact same thing you did. I'm like the Willy Wonka.
Yes, there it is. That's the spot.
Ragnarok story.
Just so like it was also substance related. I was drunk as piss. Me and my friend Mike Gazinski, we went to Disneyland and we had tickets to see Thor Ragnarok. But the thing is Mike and I like to drink. And so we went, and the first thing we did, we're like, let's go to the bar. We had a couple of drinks. We want to have another drink? We have a drink. We were sitting there like, oh, we need to get some food in us. We had some food. We didn't ride a ride. I swear to God, we didn't ride a ride. We rode like one ride. Then we went to go see Thor Ragnarok, had a blast. And then we walked out of the movie theater. This is when they still had a movie theater at Disneyland. And then everyone was going home, and we rode every single ride like that. And then we went home. It was we day drunk at Disneyland, saw a movie, and then got to do everything. And you can't plan. We tried to recreate it, and it didn't work out. It was very, very special. I remember it fondly.
Chat, tell us the times you got intoxicated in some form and saw Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Back on track. So when we get the flashback, we see 34 hours earlier, Hunter and Bobby are going to Siberia. They're tracking a vehicle to go up to so that the Zephyr can find, and they suspect that the sanctuary is going to actually be a prison camp.
Yep.
This feels relevant.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah. People you're scared of for rational reasons, putting them in one place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So great. And this is where in Hunter's interrogation, he claims that they're just trying to make their mushroom soup. How do you feel about the dried porcini hack?
I don't I've never cooked with dried mushrooms, so I've never done that, but everything he's describing as a person who has made mushroom soup and made soups, it sounds great. Also chicken bouillon, which he references later, and he also mentioned barley, which I think is just like a hella English thing to put in your mushroom soup, but that tracks. No, it sounds delicious. Sounds like Hunter knows what he's doing. The writers did good studying.
TJ, are you a mushroom guy? What are your thoughts?
Not a mushroom guy at all. I don't mind the taste of just like regular cream and mushroom soup, but the texture of mushrooms in general, they just don't do it for me. I can't do it. The only time I'm eating any kind of mushroom is the special kind if I'm going to Thor Ragnarok.
There you have it. There you have it.
And it was funny later where Daisy's kind of accusing him of like, I know why you got those mushrooms. And he's like, no, I really
No, for cooking.
Like, I believe Hunter is going to use those for soup.
I truly do, yeah.
Getting high with those.
No, I mean, I think Hunter would take psychotropic mushrooms, but I don't think that was his purpose there. Yeah. He's going there for like rare, delicious truffles, not for psychedelics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tony and I have also done mushrooms and watched Avengers Endgame.
That's true.
It was crazy.
That was a good time.
It was like a really insane experience. Wow, drugs in Marvel.
Yeah,
if you're under 18, so sorry.
Guys, be responsible.
Drugs are bad. Yes, they are.
And do them more
Okay.
after you turn 25 when your brain has finished developing, like
legit though.
Push it off as much as you can, because once that brain is finished developing and kind of stands firm, it's a lot tougher to mess with it.
That's a really good point.
We're doing really good shit.
Yeah, we're sharing a lot of important information.
Yeah.
All right, so Coulson is going to send in the team as backup. He says, I like the scene where he's like, you can't kill Malik. He's a former member of the World Council. You're on Russian soil. And Hunter was like, did you think Hunter was going to go off mission again for how much they've been saying that?
No, I didn't. Only because like May and him, I think at that point in the episode hadn't resolved their shit. And I still don't know if they really, they resolved it. He said he was sorry. But, that now I'm just kind of realizing this in real time that like they were not still on great terms when they left this show, were they? Hunter and May.
No, they did. My favorite moment in this episode, a really subtle moment, is when Hunter says, I have a backup plan. It involves May hitting people, and she smiles.
Okay.
And I think that she gives a really nice smile, and I think that is showing that they're okay.
I hope so, yeah. But no, because that was still sort of like tension hanging in the air, I did not anticipate that Hunter was going to go off mission like he did when he was chasing Ward that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair. Hunter talks about how he doesn't know if like the sacrifices they've been making are worth it. He sees a pattern emerging, and I wrote in my notes, TJ, that you can probably touch on is the pattern that's emerging is network television. We teamed up with Ward that one time, and he betrayed us. Yeah, this is just because it's a TV show.
100%, but I get it in the sense that like Hunter's not the type of guy. He's there because of Bobby, right? Like he's there because of Bobby. He's not the type of guy that joins Shield because he believes in the cause. He's the type of guy that if the world is ending, if people I care about are threatened, I will do whatever I can to make sure I help keep them safe. But if this is just about a power struggle, who's going to get this device from who's going to be in charge, he doesn't want to be part of any of that. He doesn't want to get into that. And so it was very in character of him to me to be like, why are we even doing this?
I do like though when he is talking to May, when he's like, I would take a bullet for any of you, not because of Shield.
That's true.
Because it's you guys.
Yeah, I believe that. Like TJ's right too, because like he was a mercenary when he got hooked up. We were like his first 2 episodes of this show in season 2 were like, I don't know if I can trust this guy. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what this guy's about. It seems like he was kind of in it for the money, but like it doesn't mean that he doesn't have some sort of moral compass. But yeah, he is not an allegiance guy. He just kind of like this. But now this is his found family, and I believe that he would take a bullet for May and anyone else.
That's why I love his character so much too, because I'm kind of also the kind of person where it's like, fuck the institutions. I care about people. I care about individuals, groups, communities, the companies, the figurehead. I don't care. Screw that. Like, and so that's I empathize with that. That's always made him one of my favorites.
Word.
Agreed. Totally.
Yeah.
When we're in it's a flashback, we'll call it a flashback.
Yeah.
I love that they have this moment, and this comes up again in this season, and I think it's really important, or maybe it's next season, where Bobby's like, we're spies. You don't know you don't know Russian? Like, and it's like understandable because we're a cast of actors and they're not Connor Story. They're not expected to learn Russian in 3 weeks. So like, it makes sense, but I'm glad they call it out.
Yeah. I think, but Coulson didn't recruit this team from the fucking CIA. Like, Daisy's not like trained in language and all that. But I do like that the people who are kind of more that traditional spy school people are annoyed that people don't know Russian. Or something, or Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish, like
Mac was a mechanic, like Coulson and May should. And so I was happy they directed it at the others. So it's like, we don't even really look at Coulson and May because maybe they do and they're just not saying anything. And so I'm happy they directed it at the others because everybody kind of had an excuse. But Coulson and May absolutely should have been.
Yeah.
That's one of the main ones you got to pick up.
I feel like it sounded like May understands Russian,
but
like she can't pass herself off.
Well, she said my pronunciation isn't great. But she speaks Russian, and also she speaks Mandarin and Chinese, and that's probably her where she's going to be deployed. But like, how many languages do we think Coulson speaks?
I feel like he's got to speak some.
Right? I feel like he has to speak at least English and another language, and maybe a little bit of another language.
We do know he had a romance, Spanish romance at one point, right?
I want to ask Clark how many, if Clark knows how many
that's good.
languages Coulson spoke, even whether it was exhibited or not.
I'm gonna email Clark. Hey, Clark. So I know you're on the West End right now. I know you're performing Romeo and Juliet.
Shut up, Clark.
Real quick,
Listen to this.
How many languages could Coulson speak?
We need to know really quickly, so just tell him the curtain's gonna have to wait. Yeah.
I wish we could see Coulson and Romeo and
I
Juliet.
know, man. Is he playing the priest who marries them? Or? No, he's the Capulet.
I think he's Capulet dad.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, but if you have not seen Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing, there's nothing better than watching Clark Gregg do Shakespeare.
He does it as effortlessly and perfectly as he does everything else. We love Clark.
And that's because Clark's a Mamet guy. He's a theater guy.
He is a Mamet guy. And a Sorkin guy. He was in the original cast of A Few Good Men.
Lots of stuff. TJ, do you have any thoughts and feelings about Shakespeare before we move on?
I got to see Romeo and Juliet in New York the last time I was there with Rachel Zegler and Kit Connor. And I got to say, Rachel Zegler was amazing as expected. It was like a singing Juliet role, so it was very clear she was cast because of her singing ability. But Kit Connor brought something in that role that I didn't know was within a Romeo role or within Kit Connor. And I was fucking shocked at how incredible his performance was.
That's the kind of shit that gives me theater boners.
We just talked about Kit Connor. Remember, you had to ask me who he was.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah,
so love that he's still coming up. We're seeing Rachel Zegler in a couple weeks in my favorite musical of all time, the last 5 years. So really excited. Oh, also, I want to shout out Phil in the comments. Phil's so good in the comments for saying Coulson admits to speaking vacation Spanish in season 1.
Ah, vacation Spanish. So I don't think Coulson's multilingual. I think he's just too busy protecting the world to be learning languages.
He's a historian. He's not a.
That's true.
What's the historian equivalent name for languages?
I don't know.
Oh,
chat.
What's that word I'm trying to think of?
Linguistic?
Tell me about it.
I'm gonna give it to you.
That works. We're having fun today, and I'm happy about it. So we've got this like back and forth interrogation, which is really fun. They show this dead body to Hunter, and he's like, "I didn't." And this is when like they were kind of manipulating Bobby in like a dumb way, like, "Oh, you just admitted that he killed this guy," and like.
They just have to have her say something to get some traction on the interrogation. It's not going to hold up. It doesn't have to hold up. They can kill them in a black box. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Really, so, I know that like the chat has mentioned when Hunter gives the fake name, Amadeus Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
And there is a time where I would sit here and debate that Hunter's absolutely not a Ravenclaw, but we're over that.
We don't really give a shit about
we don't talk
Ravenclaw.
about that anymore.
Yeah.
So.
I do want to talk about all the coffee cups because they were bothering me.
Oh, why?
It just kept cutting to they're showing this elapsing time, and they're cutting to this trash bin that's got all of these paper cups, presumably full of coffee. And I was just doing a little math in my head because I don't think Bobby was drinking that coffee, or Hunter for that matter. And like it was like 7 cups on the surface, about 5 layers. That's like 35 cups. That guy's gonna have a heart attack. Like that interrogator should be dead. I understand they're trying to show me time passing, but the way they did it, I was like, someone's gonna die because they drank so much coffee.
And it can't be that much time because it's like only like 29 hours ago, 28 hours ago.
It's too much coffee, guys.
Give my man a couple chocolate covered coffee beans and he's good to go.
There you go. Yeah.
That's it. Ooh, that's how you interrogate somebody. Then let's see. Oh, we find out that the dead body is a Russian attaché for the prime minister, and there's a lot coming down here. We learn that the prime minister is anti-inhuman, but the general's an inhuman, and so that's why he killed his guy, and he's probably going to try to kill him. We're kind of not going in full order today.
No, but I love when the prime minister was like, "Where's my guy?" And they were like, "Oh, he didn't see it the way we saw it." He goes, "Oh, so you're all traitors." Like I like how instantaneously he sniffed that out. There was no point where he was like, maybe I should assess the situation and think about this. He just called him out like on the spot. That was great.
And the fact once they reveal his like shadow powers, that's pretty dope.
Spooky and cool.
TJ, what do you think of that?
Very spooky and cool because it's like one of those things that you basically just have to like throw your hands up and be like, Fitzsimmons, please come up with something because we can't beat this guy up. Like it doesn't matter. We got Bobby out here, we got May out here. I always love having the thought experiment in my head of like, if Bobby, May, and Natasha Romanoff walk into a ring, who's the one that's coming out of the ring? That's always like a fun thought that I have in my head. But it's pretty cool because it doesn't matter how many big guns you got out there, you still are kind of screwed.
My answer to that is May. I think May's going to win.
I think, listen, it's not really a fair thing because I think we've gotten more elaborate and impressive fight choreography with Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow just because of the budget of the production and the time spent, the time they have to construct things like that. So I think it's Romanoff just because she's got more money.
That's fair. Well,
It's not Bobby. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I love
Sadly
Bobby.
not.
She's great, but it's one of the other two.
Yeah.
She's going to go down swinging.
Yeah. And like take away her batons.
She's still going to hurt people.
Oh, absolutely. She's badass. She's awesome. But
I think whoever walks out of that ring has to retire because they've suffered so many injuries.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
those who have to be
exactly.
dead.
Exactly. They have to be dead. Yeah.
There's this like through line that Bobby and Hunter never had a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And even Mac is like, it's true though. I like that Mac is so in their business. He's always in their business.
He's in everybody's business throughout. He's always like this whole show. He's walking up to people who were like sulking in corners. He's like, tell me what's going on.
You know what that's a trait of? A gay man.
I'm sorry it didn't work out for you.
I don't know if you know if you've been on when I talk about this, but like I spent a long time thinking Mac was gay before it was confirmed that he was not gay.
I mean, it has not been confirmed for me yet.
No.
But I'm assuming it will be.
Yes, eventually it will be confirmed that Mac
We're all sorry for you.
is not gay.
I can see it.
That's pretty sad.
I see what you were picking up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's this line that Malik says that felt like the absolute kind of thing an evil motherfucker would say, which is like, just think of what the government did for the Native Americans.
That was really good.
Like,
Yeah.
whew.
All the parcels we gave them for cheap and then welched. We just watched something recently that dealt with that. It was, what did we watch?
The New Land.
The New Land. Yeah.
TJ, this is something we talked about yesterday, so I'm interested as somebody who did not grow up in the American school system. Were you taught about Native Americans in the U.S. specifically, and like, because I know you guys got them too, and how they were treated?
More in the U.S. No, here it's just now being taught. So when I was growing up, basically all that we were taught about the Indigenous people in Canada is like, we made nice treaties with them and we gave them this, they gave us this, then we moved on. And then we find out that like, as soon as I got into university, I studied education and I start finding out that like Saskatchewan or Canada had these things called residential schools, where it was basically a prison for Indigenous kids where they found they forced them to learn English and never speak their own languages. There was sexual assault. There was just like finding ways to destroy their culture and create more white people, proper Canadians. And I found out the last one closed in 96, I believe it was, during my life.
Wow.
When I went to Vancouver, I did a walking tour with one of the Native people to do a plants and things like a foraging kind of thing. And he explained that, it was illegal to speak the native languages for a very, very, very long time. So they were trying at the root to crush out this entire
culture.
people.
Yeah.
Wow. And all that is to say that when Malik says like that's a line evil guy would say.
Yeah.
That is like
or an idiot, which he's not.
Right. Exactly. Well, yes. It's one or the two. Especially we're living in an age too where it's like you're either evil or you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's there's no in between. There truly isn't.
You get a shot in this, we're gonna fucking tell you how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to say like we brought this up because we watched a Swedish film from the 70s yesterday that does depicted Native Americans in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
And because it was coming from a Swedish perspective, it just made me wonder like how other countries are
how they're taught, because we weren't.
Yeah.
Unironically, the movie I used to use to like, it is part of our curriculums now to start teaching about residential schools and kind of actually reveal the truth about Canada's history and go, we actually aren't just the more polite little brother to the United States. We did some nasty shit too.
Sure. Yeah.
And like unironically, the movie I would show to my classroom because it teaches it so reconciliation so beautifully is Frozen 2. It's genuinely a great movie teaching about colonialism because what's the plot of the movie? You are this great kingdom. It's Canada, right? You are this great place where everybody's polite, everybody's kind. It's this paradise. And you find out, well, that story is actually built on a lie. There were people here first, and we wiped them out to make this place for us. What do we do now? How do we move forward? Because it's not just about acknowledging it. We actually have to do something about it and say, hey, this wasn't us who did it. These aren't our sins, but we're benefiting off of them. We're benefiting off of these things that our ancestors did. And so it's our responsibility to do something about it. It's a perfect movie to teach kids about that.
Love that you said that. And I'm going to close out this discussion by saying I still cannot believe Toy Story 4 won Best Animated Picture that year when Frozen 2 wasn't even nominated. Wasn't even nominated. And it's beautiful. It has a good... okay. Thank you all for this tangent that you allowed us to go on. We appreciate that when we can do that.
If you're in another country, tell us what you think of the indigenous people of America and how did you learn about them and was it true?
Yeah, Alice is in the UK. She says that they don't really learn about it over there. That makes sense.
We did a bad thing.
Yeah, we did a bad thing. Actually, technically, you guys did a bad thing.
You guys started it.
The Brits kind of did a bad
You guys came over here and did a bad thing.
It was technically your fault.
Yeah. Sorry, Alice.
Let's see. We talked about that beautiful May smile. Every time May smiles, it's like the fandom like remembers it because
Yeah.
it's such a like that. It's poignant. I also want to talk about the actor who plays the prime minister, Andre Hules. He looked familiar to me, and I didn't look him up, and I wish I had because I'm like, I know that guy.
Okay.
Did the prime minister actor look familiar to you?
No, he did not. But I wouldn't be surprised if I've seen him in something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad, if you want to look him up, Andre with an E, tell us some of his credits.
This is me like watching this show though. Again, like I was saying, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for Bobby and Hunter to be okay because of some twist or something cool that the team does. I really thought that this episode was going in the direction of they rescued the prime minister. The prime minister is going to walk into that interrogation room, and the interrogator is going to be like, oh, Mr. Prime Minister, and he's going to be like, let these people go, and he'd be like, oh yeah. That's what I thought was going to happen. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. It was way more.
Screw that guy
complex.
Because he would have been dead. He'd have been dead, and so he should have been a little bit more thankful.
He didn't kill him, and he could have done more. He could have made them sovereign citizens if he wanted to.
TJ, I want to bring up the Petrov death because it's really funny when he's like, for Mother
Russia. Yeah. We were watching Flash Gordon yesterday, and we were really just like, you shouldn't announce your shit before you try and kill somebody quickly.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It calls you out. You're in trouble.
That happens where it's like somebody's trying a sneak attack or something, and they'll be like, now I will kill you, brother, just enough in time for the other person to turn around and do something about it. There were some great little like either death scenes in this or even just bringing it back to like when the guy was already wrapped in the tarp and Hunter was like, what are the chances he just tripped and rolled himself in a tarp? Like some nice levity in an episode that is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does like it, when you watch it for the first time and if you don't know what's coming at the end, like it's a fun episode. There's a lot of fun.
It is. Yeah.
We get Bobby and Daisy fighting the Shadow Man, which is really cool. This is once again, I don't know what they're calling this character, so I'm calling him Shadow Man.
Daisy can't even hurt him.
Yeah. I got really emotional when Bobby said "Ready, Sestra," and this was like a double thing because it was like, oh, they're like sisters, and this is the last time they're gonna fight together. But also like Sestra makes me think of Orphan Black. TJ, have you watch Orphan Black?
No.
Okay, you should. It's fantastic. It is Tatiana Maslany, I think, gives one of the greatest performances of all time in that show. So highly recommend.
I'm really digging just the whole fish oil fallout of this season. Like the fact that like this now we have people who are imbued with this power that are already in high status positions, like a Russian general who's in prison. Like that's pretty fucking rad. It's been like a real fun like gift basket of power sets that have been pouring in since the season break. It's great.
2016, I was in my gym bro phase where I was just like, I gotta get big and strong so that women will like me. And that's kind of how I thought it worked. And I was just pounding fish oil. And there was a small part of me that was like, well, please give me some superpowers.
This one. It's gonna be this one.
We did talk about that a couple episodes ago. Like, would you have taken the fish oil? And we agreed, like, absolutely.
100%.
We would have tested it out.
Yeah.
Love that. So Hunter and Bobby reunite in the interrogation room. Goodness gracious, Hunter didn't die by firing squad. Did you think that this was like Hunter might die?
As this episode was going, I was realizing that what I expected the episode to be was not happening, so I thought anything could happen. But I would have been very surprised also as the episode was going that somebody was going to get executed. I was both on my heels and uncertain, but I didn't think anybody was going to die.
Mm-hmm. Fair. That's fair. We get TJ. I want to talk to you about this. We get for the second time in like a couple weeks. I think he was on last week too. We get President Ellis cameo.
Yeah.
Which is like you talked about the like how much fun it is to see the connections of that. So first, what was it like for you to see him in this time? And then I have a follow-up question.
President Ellis. I love the connection so much, whether it's Lady Sif or President Ellis. Anytime they bring in people from the movies, it's just, it satisfies something in me that nothing else can, because I grew up just being like, the most important show in my life is Spider-Man the Animated Series. That was not a Saturday morning cartoon. That was every day at 6 p.m. So whether it was like school, daycare, whatever age I was, I knew I had to finish eating and get in front of the TV by 6 p.m. so I could watch the episode, because this episode, the X-Men show up. The next one, Iron Man does. The next one, the Punisher does. The next one, Doctor Strange does. And so it was always my dream to have that in live action as I got older. And so obviously the MCU was just a dream come true. It was like, holy shit, they're finally doing it. They're doing the thing. But getting it in TV as well was always awesome, because like I touched on earlier, there was in the entire MCU, obviously there are these big things like Infinity War, Endgame, and these incredible individual movies like Guardians, Black Panther. But Winter Soldier is my favorite movie, and nothing has ever hit as hard for me in the MCU is just like that connectivity where you're watching, then you go see the movie, and you come back and the movie's repercussions are being immediately felt.
That's pretty special, man.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I wish I had gotten to experience if I was watching this in real time. But we share the same dream, TJ. It has been a boy's dream to watch the MCU be a thing. It's really special.
I'm just realizing now you're wearing animated, like the animated series.
More of the comics.
Yeah.
But
Tony does love animated Spider-Man.
I do.
He watched.
I liked it more than X-Men when I was a kid, but like I watched both. Yeah.
And that's the exact comic Venom design that they pulled literally one for one and put in the show.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Perfect. So when Ellis was on 2 weeks ago, and so I asked Instagram, who's your favorite Marvel president? Is it William Ellis? Is it
Dermot Mulroney's
what's his name?
I don't know.
Ritson. Or is it Harrison Ford's and I'm like, or a fourth option, they all suck.
Ellis.
I think I voted they all suck, but I do think Ellis is the better of the three men. Do you have an opinion, TJ?
Yeah, that makes sense. I have kind of blacked out Secret Invasion out of my brain, and so I don't remember much about Ritson. I know I was really excited for Dermot Mulroney president. I actually got to I met him and talked to him about that, and he's like, why didn't that show go well? Don't people want this, right? It's Don Cheadle. That's a big MCU character. And I just had to be like, yeah.
Don Cheadle, they ruined it. They ruined it.
Basically everything MCU, like even Quantumania, even Thor: The Dark World, I don't think it's that bad. You know what I mean? Like comparing to all the superhero
I think Quantumania is significantly worse than Secret Invasion. I actually think Quantumania is much worse, but really? I understand what you're saying.
That's how I feel about Secret Invasion specifically. It's like that's the one where it's like I can't justify a thing. It's just horrific to me, all of it.
What I usually say is like I think Secret Invasion, I think it's a bad Marvel show. I think all their Marvel choices are bad, but I don't think it's a bad TV show. I think it's an entertaining show. Whereas I think Quantumania is a very badly made movie. I think it's just a bad, and that's why that's the difference for me.
I don't have anything nice to say about Secret Invasion, but Quantumania hurt me more as just like a viewer. I disliked it so deeply. But I think we can at least agree those are the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. I think they definitely think that that's no one's arguing that point. So I don't think this is kind of not really a spoiler. So I don't think we're going to see Ellis again.
Oh, really? Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that.
I mean, we got more presidents to deal with.
I think that
Harrison Ford comes into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Harrison Ford. No, it would have been William Hurt at that era.
It would have been William Hurt.
Yeah, okay. But no. Spoiler: William Hurt doesn't show up on this network show. I know. Ooh, this beautiful scene where Coulson comes in. Hi, my name is Phil Coulson, we get that 90-second blackout, and then they tell him, no, we're not going to do this.
Powerful shit. Very well written scene.
So good.
Talk about it, TJ.
It's just every piece of like, it's so great because Coulson is the audience's perspective in that scene. Coulson is going, we got Daisy, we got May, we can blow this place up, we'll get you guys out of here. Okay, if you don't like that plan, well, we can do this, we can do this. All of us, the whole episode, our gears are turning, our wheels are spinning, trying to figure out how will Hunter and Bobby get out of this. And so we are Coulson in that moment, and it feels kind of last ditch at that point of like, well, you can see it switch halfway through from these are my tactical ideas as your boss to please, as your friend, let us do something, then to acceptance. It's so well performed by Clark Gregg, and it's so wonderfully written to use Coulson as the audience's perspective in that one, saying like, we don't know how we're going to do it, but we know we need you. And then saying, no, I think we're going to be done. And
putting a clock on it. You have 90 seconds to do all of this, and that's all you got. And so everybody is saying exactly what they mean as concisely as they can. We're not dancing around the subject. This isn't a scene where the characters get to leave the room afterwards and people get to think about it. They got to get it all out in this time, and they have to come to a decision. And then I'm watching Coulson go back into the jet to talk to everybody else. And I'm like, how are you going to tell them this? What are you going to say in this scene that is going to prevent Mac from tearing your head off your body in defense of his guys? And he did it. He always does it. That's why he's my favorite. He's so perfectly worded in his explanation in this.
He's a stronger man than I, because I would have gone in there being like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. They wanted to. I said
seriously.
this, and they said like, no, they said no matter what I say, they're not coming back. This was their choice. Because I just wouldn't have wanted to. I would have felt so bad in that moment. I'd be so scared that everybody would put that on me that I would just do whatever I could to be like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And so that kind of shows that shows what makes him such a great leader.
Yeah,
100%. And we talked about it a little bit, but the Spy's Goodbye is easily like it is one of the most iconic moments in the show. To the point where last week everyone in the chat was like, "Wow, we getting shots next week?" It's so well done, it's so well acted, and like even in the moment, even if you think they're getting a spinoff and they are coming back, it's still sad.
It's it's so sad, but there's so much affection in it. It's like once they establish like, here's the shot glass, and they're like, who's this from? And we see the first one we see is Fitz. And then
Gemma.
Oh, it's Gemma. It's Gemma. And then it's like, he goes, Fitz is here. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to look at them make eye contact with every single person who's on their team. And it's just going to be a pile of feelings. And each one is really powerful. It's really sweet. It's really creative. I loved it.
And they did a good job of making it clear, like, everyone loves them, but like Mac has been their friend for a long time, and it's harder on him.
Yeah.
And the show does a good job of like they're not forgetting that.
Yeah.
And the fact that May's there shows that she does like Hunter.
Yes.
Well, and to me, there is nothing Hunter could have done in that moment that May possibly would have respected more than protecting S.H.I.E.L.D., protecting their cause. And so I thought that was really well done to be like, no matter what beef they may have had, May respects this move and will forever think of Hunter differently.
That's true too. That is the final salve on their conflict there.
Yeah. And then I actually wish that they didn't have an end tag in this one. I think by bringing Malik and his daughter, it kind of it puts a halt into these emotions. I think it would have been so powerful if this was the episode where they didn't do an end tag.
I agree
100%. Even I forgot that it was coming, and when I saw it this morning afterwards, I'm sitting there going like, oh yeah, I forgot Haley from One Tree Hill is here. Why is Haley from One Tree Hill here? And it just was like, this episode didn't need that, because it was such a perfect end.
It's such a perfect end and such a nothing of a tag. It's like,
Malik has a daughter and she wants to meet Ward.
Oh, Malik's just acting like he's just like a nice father. What's that supposed to be about? Like, oh, I guess that we're going to see more of this character. They're shooting Skeet. The end. I'm like, I didn't need that one bit.
No. But it is funny. It's like, oh, this is another one where Ward or Brett Dalton, Squidward, and Squidward
Oh,
You know, I feel like that didn't click last
I
week.
don't have another shot open. Is that what?
Like he wasn't in the episode at all.
Yeah, didn't even think about him. That's
Yeah.
how much I don't like him. Didn't even think about his absence.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna kick Tony out for a minute. So first, Tony, who's your MVP?
Fuck. It's got to be Bobby or Hunter.
It's Bobby and Hunter for me. Like,
Okay, it's Bobby and Hunter.
It's their
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah.
I
It's the two of them.
mentioned to Mac, but like
What was the show called that was going to happen?
Marvel's Most Wanted.
My MVP is Marvel's Most Wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Bell, Paul, everybody who was involved with that show, Delroy Lindo.
You're making an Oscar speech right now.
Well, thank you to the studio that picked us up after ABC got rid of us. Just like we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you.
Yeah.
TJ, do you agree, or do you have a different MVP?
It has to be them. It has to be them. No other choice. Only other like honorable mention is to Mac from that, parting shot of his.
Mm-hmm. All right, Tony, you want to say your thank yous?
Yes. So thank you to Stephanie at Eclectic Muses on socials for doing our artwork. Thank you to Ryan Mira of Yellow Pills at Yellow Pills Music on Instagram for doing our theme music. Thank you to producer Maria. Thank you, producer Maria.
You're welcome.
And thank you, TJ. It's always really nice having you, man. This was fun.
Thank you. It's so great to see you again. We got lots of fun stuff coming up for Agents of Fandom. So I always make not the mistake, because I absolutely adore having Jamie on. But I just send her a message and I forget to be like, I need to send Tony a message too, because I also want you to come on my shows.
I had a fun time the one time we did it. Anytime, I think we talked about Daredevil last time, so maybe we could talk about Daredevil again. So
perfect.
Good
Perfect
moment, TJ, for you to plug that people can hear us in like an hour. We can.
Yeah, exactly. 1 hour from now, Jamie and I will be live on the Agents of Fandom channel talking about Project Hail Mary. And we're just in like the most jam-packed time right now. Today, we're talking Project Hail Mary. Tomorrow, we're talking about episode 7 of season 2 of Paradise. Tuesday, it's Daredevil Born Again. Wednesday, it's Invincible. Thursday, we talk comic books. So it's kind of nonstop. I got a couple weeks ago talked to Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio for Daredevil Born Again. That's up on the channel. So some really, really awesome stuff on the site and the podcast right now.
Yes, check out Agents of Fandom. And real quick before Tony goes, the chat's mentioning it, and I wanted to mention, I forgot, the score of this episode was really great. They did some great stuff with the music. Bear McCreary, and like, thank you for the chat for mentioning that, because it really was great. Okay, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, before Tony goes, I do have to say that during my day job is operations for the animation studio that makes Invincible. So it is a big month for us. Season 4 came out on Wednesday, first 3 episodes. Go watch. Thank you.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Listen,
yeah.
everybody plugging their shit. I'm so
maybe-
proud of all
maybe
our friends.
Maria can go on Agents of Fandom.
I think Maria
don't know
should
if
go on
Maria's
Agents of Fandom.
Yeah, we got to have Maria on for
I don't know if that's
if you're allowed to do an Invincible episode. Let's do that.
yeah.
If not,
I've also read all the comics, so I know,
hell yeah.
everything that's going to happen.
hell yeah, let's do
Great.
it. Let's do it for sure.
There's a booking for you. Wonderful. Okay, so Tony's gone. And we just like real quick, we're running out of time. I do want to mention the fact that like I was able to make it seem like we never see them again without lying, but like obviously we do get Hunter one more episode. He shows up in a great episode in season 5, which is I'm very excited to get to.
It's worth lying at all costs not to spoil that, because it is truly one of like my favorite character reveal moments in the whole series.
Mm-hmm. It was great. And the only thing that was a bummer was that it gave me hope that we would see Bobby again. I really thought going into season 7 that we would see everybody again. I thought we would see Brett Dalton again. I thought we would see Adrian and Nick again. My vision going into season 7 for what it was going to be was so different. And ultimately, I ended up loving it so much. So, they did a good job, but it's so sad. And I do feel like I've heard Adrian talk about the show, and I do think she wishes she got to be involved more in just like con stuff and fan stuff, because I think she really genuinely loved doing the show.
Agreed. She was the last 2 years here in Saskatoon, where I live, has a little convention, and I don't go out of protest because I should be like, as humbly as I can possibly say this, it's Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I should be the fucking one doing all the panels. There's no one else here
I understand
that does this kind of thing. And so they don't even give me a press pass. We go to New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con with press pass. I can't get one for Saskatoon Comic Con.
That's crazy. That's why I didn't go to New York Comic Con, because I was like, why am I not moderating the Shield panel?
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
and I've told this story, but Clark thought I was. Clark emailed me and he was like, "Wait, you're not doing that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So fuck it.
My like,
I
and the
get it.
only reason I'm like, I would fully be like, screw them, I'm not going. For the last 2 years, Deborah Ann Wool was there this past year, and Adrienne Palicki was the year before. And it was just like, these are the only reasons I'd want to go, and I wish I could have,
Ah.
but I gotta stand strong.
Not getting a press badge is actually ridiculous. Like that's crazy. So fuck them. TJ, anything else you want to say about this episode, about Shield, about what's coming up? Something spoilerly? Anything?
Not really. I love the comments from earlier in the show where people were saying we were having our own like Kits On episode where we were all getting
Yeah.
all turned up with our shots. That was really good.
Talking about
I
getting high.
I feel like I've, weaved in a nice little schedule of being on one time per season. So hopefully get to keep that going, because I'm mixing I feel like I might be mixing up 4 and 5, but is 4 Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider, yeah. Ghost Rider, and then the Framework, which is my personal favorite arc. So I'm really, really hyped.
I can't wait for I will probably make sure I'm doing a full rewatch with you guys throughout all of season 4, because like it's top tier. It is. I love it all, but that's top tier for me.
Yeah. Going from Ghost Rider to LMD to Framework is like it's just expert storytelling, but the Framework especially is my favorite thing that they ever did on the show. Well, thank you so much for being here, TJ. I can't wait to talk to you in 1 hour from now. Well, that's gonna be really fun. So make sure you guys, it's live. So if you're live in this chat, you can be live in that chat in 1 hour on Agents of Fandom as we talk Project Hail Mary. I assume that's going to be spoilery, so if you haven't seen the movie, maybe hold off on listening. Thank you to everybody in the chat. It was a really fun chat today. Thank you for everyone who did shots with us. If you had a picture of you taking a shot, tag us in it. I should have said that before you did it. Next week we are talking Watch Dogs, and I don't know yet who the guest is, but we will probably be going up early, which I haven't told Tony or Maria this, so sorry that you're hearing it now. But I think we'll probably be doing noon PT next week. So keep an eye out for that information, and follow us. You know all the business. Thank you again, TJ, and goodbye, Bobby and Hunter. We loved you so much.